Welcome back. So in this lecture, we are going to learn how to design for different placements. Because if you remember, the only thing that we're using right now is the Facebook newsfeed. But what if, for example, you also chose the placement of Instagram stories? Because we know that those have different ratios. So that means that the image or video that you use is going to be different. There are different requirements. So how do you manually adjust for the different placements? That's exactly what we're going to learn. Let's dive in. So right now, remember, we only have a single placement, but what if we had two placements? What if we go back to placements in the ad sets and then scroll down and we go to stories and then Instagram stories and then we check this one. So now we have two different placements, right? So if I go back now to media, how do I make sure that it looks good on both? Well, the first thing that you're gonna notice here is that you can see the different placements, but you can't do anything about it. There's no edit button, there's nothing to really see or do, right? And that is interesting. And by the way, if your preview doesn't look like this, don't worry about it because Facebook is always playing with different versions, but the basic functions are always the same. So, for example, if I wanted to see how the mobile version of this one looks like, I would just click on expand up here, and then I can just choose which one of these that I want to be looking at, right? If I want to see the desktop or the mobile. Very easy like that. However, you might have a different version. It might look something like this. So in this version, all you would do is hover your mouse here and this is going to expand, and then you would go over to Instagram, click there, it opens up, and then you can see specifically how it's going to look for Instagram stories just by clicking there, right? So we can see the way that it looks like here. So this is a little different of a system than the one that we are looking at right here. So it just completely depends on what kind of system that Facebook is playing with. So if yours looks differently, don't worry about it, all right? Because the main functions are the same. Here we just click on expand. Back to the main problem, we still have no way to edit. We can see this is the way it looks on Instagram stories, this is the way it looks on Facebook. Well, this is where Facebook gets a minus point because we could see that we chose multiple ads, right? And because we chose multiple ads, we're not able to differentiate and design the different placements for them. So if I instead would go ahead and remove all of these different placements, well, I'm just gonna clear image because that's gonna be faster. And then I'm just gonna add image and add a single image. So instead of having 6, I just have 1. Well, then something differently happens. Then it says you can change how your ad looks in different placements. And now we're able to edit our placement. Isn't that interesting? So all we do now is that we click here, select a placement to edit, and then you're just gonna decide which one that you want to change. Let's say the Instagram stories one. You click on that one, and now we have the ability to crop it, for example, the way that we want. We could use the horizontal, we could decide ourselves where we want to crop it, we could use the original. It's completely up to us, and this is going to be specifically for Instagram, right? Because that is the placement that we are editing. So let's say that we just wanted to have a different effect. We would want to slice it in half for whatever reason. For now, it's just going to be to see the differences. So as you can see right now, we have a different look on Instagram stories here than we do for the Facebook feed. So this is how we make sure that we can edit those two and we get a different result. And scrolling back up, we can also see that there are now different pictures here. There's one for Facebook newsfeed and there is one for Instagram stories, right? Now this is not possible when we're using multiple ad sets. So if we wanted to use multiple ad designs and multiple placements, the best way to do that would be to actually create one single ad design. And then later on in the Ads Manager, I'm going to show you how you can duplicate those and then change the ad designs from the Ads Manager. And that is much easier when you're working with multiple ad placements, all right? So the way that we are doing right now by adding 6 ad sets at once, this is only recommended if you are using a single ad placement, which we are. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to remove this one, and then I'm going to click on Add Image. And then I'm going to add back all of these ones. Click on Continue, and then just go back to Placements, turn off Instagram Stories, go back to Media, and now we are back to where we started, with the difference that should you want to use multiple placements, you know how to design differently for them and crop the different images that has different ratio requirements for different placements, right? knowledge is power. So we are going to continue on to the next lecture and learn more about text and links. And this is a big one. So see you in the next lecture.